Good morning. Grab a mug and join us as we talk about the first year of marriage.
Go hit subscribe and ring that bell for notifications, and we'll be right back. I'm Matt, and this is my wife, Maria. We've been asked by friends and family how it is that our marriage works so well through all of life's crazy. Through better or worse, through sickness and health, till death do us part. So we decided to talk about how two imperfect people have been able to create a strong marriage. Welcome to Morning Coffee.
And we're back.
Every time while I'm taking a sip.
So, first year of marriage. Well, as you remember, I think we told you, we did, that I was married before. And so, you sometimes bring baggage with you. And
I would argue that whether or not you've been married before, you always bring baggage with you.
Okay,
Just
yes.
different type of baggage.
Mm-hmm. So when you've been married before, you have expectations of how things are going to be, good or bad. And though Matt and I had been besties for years, and he knew my past and everything, I knew that we would be fine. It was like our friendship would always be. That was never a question. But when you pray and you ask God, like, give me a godly man, someone who will be there, all those things that you pray for, and then you get them, and you don't know how to handle it because your prayers were answered. That's what happened to me.
Be careful what you pray for, by the way.
So I literally prayed that I would have someone who would support me, who would be there for me and the kids, who would be my partner, because, and I never want to say anything negative about my ex, like things just didn't work out. However, he was not the person I should have been with, and so marrying Matt was complete different. It was a 160.
180.
180. It was a 180 from what I had before, on all levels. And so when I have someone who's willing to be my partner and actually help with certain things, I didn't know how to handle it, which caused some arguments. And Sierra jokes, and we kind of jokingly also were like, it was because of Sierra that we had those first arguments that first year. It wasn't because of Sierra. It was because I didn't know how to handle having someone who would help me with the kids. For me, it was, those are my kids. You don't get to have a say. And for him, it was, those are our kids. I'm going to help. And I'm like, excuse you? Their birth father didn't do that. He didn't discipline them. He didn't do this. So why are you? Like, I'm the disciplinarian. And by discipline, I mean Matt's a talker. He would lecture for hours.
I'm very good with psychological warfare.
I'm the mama with the flip-flop. So, here are the dogs. It was hard for me when he would want to be a part of those discussions. Kids getting in trouble at school. Let's talk about how we should handle this. And I'm like, no, there's nothing to talk about. I got this. Those are my kids. And he's like, no, those are our kids. And I'm like, ugh. So hence the not knowing how to communicate. I wanted so bad to have a spouse that was there for me, who would help me, but I didn't know what it looked like, and so when I got it, it freaked me out. And fast forward many years later, Sierra letting me know that she she would actually think in her head, like, man, I can't believe Matt can't handle this. Actually, what she said was, Matt's a B because all he does is go run and tell my mom. No, what Matt did was come and tell me so we could talk about it together and we could make a decision together. But what happened was I just did everything myself for quite a while. And it caused friction because he wanted to be there for me. And he was trying so hard to be there for me, and I just didn't know how to let him. Until one day, I'm praying. I'm like, God, help me. I wanted this, and I don't know how to have it. And I literally felt a peace about letting go, and I'm like, I don't know how to let go. I've had to be in control my entire life with everything. And I let go. And it was the most amazing thing to have somebody who was actually there to help. Last video from Saturday, I said Matt literally made breakfast and lunch every single day. He got up in the morning. We all had protein shakes. He would make protein shakes for all of us because we were running out the door. Did a carpool, dropped everybody off, and he had bagged all of our lunches. And if for some reason we didn't have a lunch that day, we'd stop by the grocery store and pick up something so everybody would have lunch. What? You made breakfast and lunch? And I'm not going to lie, there were times he made dinner too. Look, don't judge me. I already told y'all I was not the best cook. But the 4 fights were literally me not knowing how to receive what I had prayed for. And it was because the kids would do something and then I would be like, no, my babies, I'll handle it. But the day that I finally said, yes, help me, was truly the best day. Your point of view?
I think you summed that up rather nicely, actually. It did get frustrating. I think there was a specific day that it kind of came to a head, and our daughter tells stories about it all the time. I don't, not a big cuss word kind of person.
He doesn't cuss.
So there was a day where I was frustrated because my authority was still being questioned as the dad of the house. And I was trying to make the day go the way it was supposed to go. And unfortunately that was not being allowed to happen. So I reacted, and I call it cussing, but the word was what most people don't consider a cuss word.
He said damn. He said get your damn butt. Or did you say ass?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He said donkey. Get your damn donkey in the
yeah. So, unfortunately, the blow up caused our daughter she ended up crying all day in her room. She didn't even go to school. But that was the day that I think Maria was like, all right, something's got to change.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know, there literally was nothing I could do beyond just explaining to her the problem and letting her know how we needed to resolve it, and then just move on. So when she let go, it actually improved all of our relationships, because the kids were able to see me as a leader and participant of the house rather than just mom's new husband that lives there. And I was able to actually guide them through growing up rather than just be someone looking in from the outside while they grew up and just happened to live in the same house. So that was that was a very big turning point, and the rockiest part of our marriage, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ever.
But that was my perspective of it.
So besides that, those 4 fights, like the first year of getting to know somebody and all their little quirkinesses. So Matt is an extremely neat freak.
I'm selective in my OCD situations.
Okay, true. So like every night when he gets ready for bed, like he'll either fold his clothes and put them back away or in the laundry, in the hamper. They go into the hamper. They never miss. His shoes go back in the closet where they belong. Everything has a place. My side of the bed has every pair of shoes I've worn probably for the last week, because if the room hasn't been vacuumed yet this week, that's where they're all at. There will be a trail of clothes, because that's me. And we have 2 sinks, but I've taken over 3/4.
I have the bowl and the faucet, and I don't have anything else. I got nothing.
And so, like, learning these things, that he, first thing in the morning, he gets up, brushes his teeth, takes a shower, gets dressed. Unless he's working out right then. And then it's get up, brush my teeth, get ready, go work out, come home, take a shower, eat. I am a take it slow. He wakes up at whatever time works for him. He knows his 2 hours that he needs. I wake up 4:45, 5 o'clock, when everybody's still asleep, so that I can have my quiet time. Like, learning these little quirks about each other. The first year was interesting. Like, I don't know. It's different. People say that it's just a piece of paper. That's annoying. It's so much more than that. I mean, even if you're living with someone, whatever, it becomes a true commitment. And when we made that commitment, I didn't know what that true commitment looked like until then. I had made a commitment to my ex due to the fact that I got pregnant and out of wedlock and tried to make it work and blah, 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 blah. I made a commitment to Matt because I was in love with him. And I wanted to have a forever life with him. And it was something completely different. But like I said, when you pray for those things and you get those things, you need to know how to be prepared for them, because it was everything I wanted, but I didn't know how to handle it. And I am so thankful that we got through that year by communicating, because I would get upset and I was so used to yelling to get my point across, and Matt would just take his voice down and he would sit and talk. This is why we've only had 6 arguments. Matt will talk it out. What was the reason for this argument? We won't have this argument again, because we will fix this. Whatever this is, he's always been like, let's fix this so this thing doesn't repeat. And I'm so thankful, because even though I kept making the same mistake, by not allowing him to be who he needed to be, the leader, the head of the house, and he was my head, but I didn't know how to let him be the head of the home. I knew how to let him be my priest, provider, protector, but I didn't know how to let him be that for the entire family. And it was a relief, such a relief to let go and just say, hey, you know what? If something messes up, it's on you, homie.
No pressure.
When we get to heaven, you're accountable. um, it. I was thankful that I had someone that I could talk with and talk through things and have a conversation with, and didn't have to yell or break things. Won't say that I used to do that too, but I didn't have to. He wanted to talk. He wanted to have a conversation, and it just made things so much better. Like after that year, literally, it was years later before we had another argument. Years later, and we'll talk about that another day. But that first year of letting go and just learning to receive the blessing that I was given. Yes, I do call him a gift from God. Don't get a big head.
That's part of that ego thing we talked about from the 5 love languages.
Big strong man. But it really, I can't even begin to tell you, dog, what it's like to be able to just release that authority that I shouldn't have taken on to start with.
So one of the things I wanted to tell you guys is in that first year of marriage, there's going to be a lot of these different things. You're going to have to be, hey, hush. So what I wanted to tell you guys is in the first year of marriage, there's going to be a lot of those things. And everyone, again, they come with baggage, with whatever it is that has been piled on you, good or bad, throughout your life. And in our case, when we got married, I immediately had 2 kids. And it was amazing, but that's not necessarily the situation that you will be in. You may get married and neither of you have kids yet. Whatever the case may be, for those of you who are blended families, I'm going to tell you right now, you have to figure out how to allow each other to now be a parent in the household. Because if you don't, it's going to be very rough going for you. There's going to be a level of disrespect between someone in that household, and it'll never get resolved if you guys don't agree that you both are parents in that household.
And that never took away from their dad. Matt never wanted to be their dad. They don't call Matt dad. That was never part of this is your new dad. No, they have a dad. They have a relationship with their dad. And their relationship is their relationship with him. Their relationship with Matt is something completely different. So Matt never, not even for one day, ever tried to replace him because there was no need. He's a part of their life. That's their dad, and he was a very active part of their life and still is. It was, but I'm marrying your mom, and with your mom, I am taking on y'all also because I love her, I love y'all, because you were an extension of her. It was never, you're gonna obey me because I'm the head and I'm the dad. Matter of fact, one of the arguments was because I was gonna go in there and tell the kids, you have to do this, and Matt's like, no, don't do that. They'll come around, and I'm like, I don't know if they'll ever come around. They came around to the point where Matt literally walked Sierra down the aisle on her wedding day. And I think I may have mentioned this in the first video, I'm not sure, but Sierra has said that she is so thankful that I married Matt because she saw what a healthy marriage looked like so that she knows what her marriage should look like. And she doesn't know that she would have known that before. And she's thankful for him and who he is in her life as Matt. and thankful to who he is in my life as my husband, because it just helped shape them. Our son will call just because he needs advice, and he doesn't call me, he calls him. I asked, I'm like, have you talked to your son lately? He's like, oh yeah, matter of fact, I talked to him earlier. I'm like, I haven't talked to him in 2 weeks. Oh. I'm like, okay. So it does come full circle, and it can be hard being a blended family. I had a stepdad. I love him so much. I still do to this day. And even when my mom and him got a divorce, it was hard because I love him. But he never tried to take the place of my dad either. He was just, I'm here, and you love me on your terms, and I did. And that's what Matt did. So
you have to understand that it's the same concept of who's your favorite child, and you could probably joke around about this, but in all honesty, like when you have your first kid, then you have your second one. Some people tell me that they think, how is it that I'm going to be able to love the second one as much as I love the first one? And then they're there, and then you realize there's no finite amount of love to be given. It just continues to grow. So as a step parent, you have to remember that that's the same with your kids now. It's not like they have to choose between you two. They can actually have both of you and enjoy both of you and love both of you at the same time. There's enough for that to happen.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say.
Other things in the first year of marriage, and some of these we'll expand on later. So, if you haven't had a sexual relationship before the first year of marriage, you can treat it one of two ways. You can treat it as this weird, awkward thing that happens that you guys have to kind of muddle through, or what we recommend, you treat it like an exploration into something that can be very fun. And guess what? You're married now, so there are very few things that are off limits at this point. Again, we'll get into this more in other episodes, but that's one of the things. The other things, like she was talking about, those little things that might be day-to-day annoyances, like clothes on the ground or whatever.
It annoys you?
No. Let me finish.
Okay.
Remember that there's a good scene in Good Will Hunting where Robin Williams is telling Will, whose name Matt Damon. He's telling him about his wife, and he says the things that he remembers is he talks about her farting in her sleep and how one time it woke her up and woke the dog up and all this kind of stuff. And he says at the end of her life, those are the things that he remembers. It's not the grand vacations. It's not the wedding day necessarily. It's all the little day-to-day things that make the person unique. So you can either look at it as an annoyance, or you can look at it as one of those additional things that you can kind of smirk at or laugh at, that in the end of the day, they don't really matter, and they add to the character of your significant other.
So, in saying that, what is something that you found out about me in the first year of marriage?
You leave your clothes everywhere. It's really the shoe thing, like, because I'm the one that usually vacuums, so I'm the one that ends up picking up all the shoes. So that's really the one that's like, all right, here we go again.
That's it? Yeah. And literally, so we're pretty much empty nesters. My shoes, then the bra, then the pants, and then the shirt. And Sierra would say, because we used to pay Sierra to clean the house. Sierra's our daughter, in case you haven't caught on. And she would be like, do you think I want to be picking this up? What am I, the cleaning fairy? And I'm like, yes, as a matter of fact, you are. But yeah, that is me. It just tick all the way up.
In any case.
Well, I was saying that's like, I don't know. And for me, with you, I didn't know how neat he was because his car wasn't clean and his room wasn't clean.
Again, very selective OCD.
And so I was shocked at how much order he actually had. However, we are both military brats, so there is some things that we got from our parents that they may not even know that they did.
I'm very good at ironing because of my dad.
So am I. However, I hate to do it, so he does it. But yeah, the first year of marriage of like just learning each other's quirks was interesting. Something I appreciated because Matt had sisters. He put down the toilet seat. We never ever had a conversation or argument about him leaving it up. I appreciate that. He some of the things that people argue about, like the laundry basket thing, I think it's hilarious because that's me. I will literally sit on the bed and throw it, and it will land next to it, and I'm like, I'll get it tomorrow. No, that doesn't happen.
So you have to.
Sorry.
You good?
I'm good.
Okay. You have two choices in your first year of marriage. Either whine and complain about all the things that you are finding out about each other, or make it a fun exploration of finding out about each other in every way that you possibly can. There was a Rachel Hollis in her book, Girl Wash Your Face. Yes, I read it too. It was actually really
good.
She said something that was profound, and I'm probably going to steal for the rest of eternity. Thank you, Rachel. Where a burning house can be seen in a few different ways. If you own the house, if you're living in the house, that burning house is probably devastation to your life. For the firefighter that pulls up to put it out, that burning house is actually his livelihood. He gets paid day in and day out to be there in case your house burns down. To an arsonist, your burning house is a work of art. So you have to you have to choose what perception you're going to have on your first year of marriage. You can either choose to see all of those little things as annoyances, or you can choose to see them as added on little picadillos, as Robin Williams calls them, about your spouse that you will grow to appreciate because they just add to the memories and the fun. So that's all I got.
Same. Do you have any other questions about how we made it through the first year? Which I think we honestly covered it. It was me just letting go and receiving the gift that I was given. But you say I'm a gift from God too, right?
I do.
Okay. Yeah, just let us know questions you have. We'll be happy to answer them. Nothing's off limits. We're happy to talk about anything. Or else we wouldn't be doing this. And if it is off limits, we'll let you know. And it's usually just our kids. So, that's all I have.
Yeah.
Do you know what we're talking about next time?
I have no idea what we're talking about next time, but you'll find out.
So until next time, make sure to love yourself.
And love each other.
Bye.
See ya.